Hi, welcome to Lecture 10. Just finished covering the openings, and now we're going to go back and start to take a look at the endgame again. Just for your information, and I think it was Lecture 2, I covered what I called basic checkmating patterns, and that was actually a form of studying the endgame. Sometimes those were sometimes it's referred to as overkill endgames, meaning where you have a queen and king versus king. Now we're going to get back and start looking at some other fundamental endgames. And I want to start off by talking about king and pawn endgames, like the one I have on the board. But first, I want to talk about a basic concept that's very important in king and pawn endgames called the opposition. What the opposition is that if you have the opposition, you're going to be able to make headway into the enemy's camp, or the enemy can't make headway into your camp. You're going to be able to sort of prevent him from coming in. Maybe I'll just show you what it is, and then you'll start to realize as we discuss these endgames how important it is. But first, let's just say, how do we know we have the opposition? Well, here in this position, it's white to move, and let's just say white wants to get the opposition. Well, getting the opposition is just when the kings are on the same line, or on the same file, which is this way, or the same rank, or even the same diagonal, let's say just this diagonal, there's an odd number of squares between them, so 1, 3, 5, etc. So anytime same rank, file, or diagonal. So if white wants the opposition, white would move here. 1, whoops, need to shut off my chess engine. There's only one square between the kings. What this does, if you see, I'm just going to put the squares in red, is that black cannot advance near the king. So the white is sort of shutting the king off from advancing. Okay, so that's an example of one. So let's say black moved here. Well, obviously white can move here and take the opposition again. Notice how the black king can never get down towards his pawn if it really wanted to, if it moved over here, over here. Now let's just show you another form of opposition. Let's say if the black king moved here, white could move here, and theoretically white would have the opposition because there's one square between them. Okay? And then by the same token, let's say black moved here, white could always move here. And these are just fundamental. These are not real moves that would actually occur in this game, but just to show you fundamental opposition. Now they're on the same file, and there's 3 squares between them. So the white has the opposition. If you look at it this way, if white were to move down, white could move back up and regain the opposition. Black's never going to be able to come down. Okay, so basically it's a number of odd squares between them. So what happens when the kings are not on the same rank, file, or diagonal? How do you know who has the opposition? Well, let me try to set up that situation. Well, here I've had to reset up the board. As you notice, any move that I make, it's white to move. Any move that I make with a white piece, or the white king, the kings are not going to be on the same file, rank, or diagonal. But here's the last way you can tell, is that whoever moves, it's white to move. So white just moved. What you then do is make a rectangle connecting the kings like this. And if all the corner squares are the same color, you have the opposition. Okay, so just to back up, so if white moves, so therefore if white moved here, all the corner squares would be the same color. White has the opposition. So let's just try to follow this out logically. So let's say, then black moves here. And let's say we want to keep the opposition with the same rule, because we're really not too sure, because still, well, actually, white could move to here, and then we would know that we would have the opposition because there would be 3 squares. Let's just take our rule again. We're going to move the king here, and once again we have the box, all the same color. Then let's say black king moved here. Now we definitely know that we have can take the opposition by moving here. So that's a good rule of thumb. Okay, so that is the opposition, and that is the end of this lecture.